I stood by the open balcony, the ocean swallowing the horizon, when my phone lit up with her name. I almost didn't answer. Almost. Her voice sliced through the calm before I could speak. "We're moving in tomorrow. My son said it's fine." I looked at my husband sitting on the couch behind me, back curved, eyes glued to nothing. Silent. Always silent when it mattered. Then her final strike. "If you don't like it, you can find somewhere else." My fingers trembled, but only on the inside. Outwardly, I smiled, because I already knew, and because tonight wasn't the beginning of my collapse, it was the beginning of theirs. Back when I still believed. I met him when trust still came naturally. Back when he looked at me like I was the one place he could breathe. His mother pretended to approve. Tight hugs, rehearsed warmth, compliments wrapped in thorns. I believed him when he said, "She just needs time." I believed him when he said, "I'll always choose you." The beach house had been our shared dream. At least, that's what I thought. Before I learned he'd been building a future with someone else, and letting his mother draft the blueprints. The cracks started quietly. First, he stopped coming home early. Then he stopped coming home sober. Then he stopped looking me in the eyes when I asked simple questions. A lipstick stain I didn't recognize on a shirt he claimed he never wore. A late-night text preview that flashed across his screen. "She bought the house. Good, it'll be easier now." I didn't confront him. I didn't break. Instead, I started listening more carefully. Watching. Collecting. The truth unfolded slowly, like a wound deciding to open. His mother and he had planned to move into the house together while I, apparently the unstable one, would be relocated somewhere calmer. A new life for them, an exile for me. But they underestimated the one thing they should have feared: my ability to stay quiet. The shift. That night, something inside me clicked into place. Not rage, not despair. Strategy. Every smile I gave after that was a blade I kept hidden. Every nod was a calculation. He thought I was quitting my job to get some rest. What I actually did was free every hour of my day to prepare my exit and their downfall. The beach house. I bought it with my money, my name, my contract. They never read the fine print. They never knew the one thing I added. Setting the trap. First move, call my lawyer. Second, restructure ownership documents. Third, quietly separate our finances. Fourth, gather evidence. Screenshots, bank records, messages between him and his mother that she should have deleted but didn't. Every piece fit neatly into a plan I never rushed. A plan I sharpened. So when my mother-in-law made her grand announcement over the phone, expecting obedience, expecting fear, expecting the old version of me, I let her talk. I let him stay silent. And I smiled, because tomorrow was already scripted. The arrival. They showed up the next morning with boxes, bags, and arrogance spilling out of the car. My husband walked up first, wearing that half-apologetic look cowards put on like cheap cologne. His mother didn't bother pretending. She stepped past me as if the house already belonged to her. I waited until she reached the living room, until she looked around with smug satisfaction, until he finally exhaled, thinking the worst was over. Then I placed the envelope on the kitchen island. "Before you unpack," I said, "read this." She opened it with theatrical impatience. Her eyes scanned fast, then slowed, then froze. The legal notice was simple. As of yesterday, I filed for divorce. The property is mine alone. You are both trespassing. My husband lunged for the papers, but I slid another stack toward him. Copies of his messages, his secret bank transfers, his plans with his mother to manage me. "I gave you a home," I said quietly. "You tried to make me disappear." He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Silence. Again. But this time, I owned it. My mother-in-law stuttered something about calling the police. "That's a good idea," I said. "They can escort you out." And that was when she finally understood her reign was over. Aftermath. They left with their boxes untouched. He turned back once at the door, like he expected me to break, cry, beg. But I only closed the door, softly, deliberately. The ocean roared outside, but inside, everything was still, clean, mine. I walked to the balcony, where the phone call had first cut into my peace, and let the wind take the last trace of them from my lungs. Revenge wasn't loud, it wasn't messy, it was precise, and God, it was beautiful.